This podcast contains potentially adult language, adult themes, definitely drinking, and possibly sexual context. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Drinking with Authors, the podcast. I'm your host, Erica Lance. My co-host today is Vanessa Valiente. And I'm just going to say we're going to actually twist things up a bit because these amazing ladies you guys are about to meet have so much that they're doing. So we're going to start with talking about what we're drinking, and then I am going to let them introduce themselves because I will never do the justice that they have doing it. So I'm going to start with my daughter bought me this, and it's a handcrafted cocktail. Supposedly it has 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and 100 calories. And this is a black raspberry, but it's called carbless, but looks like carb bliss. So that's I'm doing that one. I'm trying it because she sent it to me. Our sponsor today is Skunk Brothers Spirits. If you go on their website, they're amazing. DWA10 is the coupon code. I'm probably going to try to put some of the lightning from them in this, but I'm trying it first. So, because that lightning will knock me on my ass. Vanessa, what are you drinking?
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm just drinking good old Stella. It's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Our guests today are giving me kudos. So woo woo. Yeah. So cool.
Yay, Stella. Okay. So the ladies, what are you guys drinking? And then massive intro.
So I'm Wilnona, and I'm going to go ahead and do a shameless plug for me. So yes. We have a poetry book of cocktails. Therefore, I'm drinking from the sparkling light section of the cocktail book. It is our cocktail of white Zinfandel and Jameson, very well chilled. You do not drink this when it's warm. It's got to be cold. Otherwise, it tastes gross.
Okay, I'm only laughing because we came up with that because my dad was having guests
we can tell the story
at
later.
My house. So, and we didn't have anything to serve them. So there it is.
It was
I am drinking Old Bond 18 out of another shameless plug. I'm Jade, out of our Rambling Thoughts of Mindless Mind mug, because why not?
Ooh.
Later on this evening, I will be drinking an Old Bond 18, and then I'm going to do another shameless plug drink out of my own red wine. But right now, I'm going to stick with the sparkling wine.
Okay, so Jade, Wilnona, you please introduce who you guys are and what you guys do.
Okay, so first of all, I hope that we can live up to the hype, because that hype was like really, really high. And I was like, all right, I should pay her to be a hype person, but also we need to bring that down. Let's lower everyone's expectations. We're just
No way. There's no way. You guys will totally meet
Sky's
the hype.
limit here. Sky's the limit. Go.
Oh, sky's the limit. Well, then we're just slightly below this guy. Let's lower the expectations. Let's lower them. I'm Jade.
And I'm Wilnona. We're the anti-thought ladies, and we are, as you said,
what? Pop poets. We write literary life guys with pop poetry.
We also do a few things, and I think Jade's gonna let me do 3 of the mini.
Three. Go ahead.
I'm gonna start with the one she hates because she allowed me 3. We starred in our own reality TV show. Yes, she hates that. You see that smile on her?
It was a massive eye roll. Y'all missed
it. She absolutely hates that we did that.
You missed it.
Let's see. We are one of the 18th most interviewed authors in the world. We're on a list with Oprah. Yay. And then what's the last thing that we were just in an international fashion magazine for our clothing. Was that something else?
Yeah, we are the founders of the 25 hottest indie authors, artists, and advocate magazine that dropped in March.
Right.
So that's what
scratch the magazine. Scratch the magazine.
Oh no, don't scratch the magazine. Although we were there and we were looking really, really cute.
We look so cute. We can get the magazine to show you.
Yes, it's really cute.
Hey, just so you know, we do have this on YouTube, so you can show people will see that eye roll later when they
I wanted to explain it for everyone that was on the podcast. We have a podcast also, right? And I'm like, I have to let them know. Insert eye roll right there.
So, and that's only 3 of the things you guys do. You guys also have awards. You do all of this support for authors and creatives and stuff like that. So you absolutely live up to the hype. But first of all, how did you two get connected? How did you guys get together on this journey?
She's my best friend in the world, and then she dragged me on this journey kicking and screaming. Because I'm about to tell you the story, because you know what?
I'm gonna go get the magazine.
She's gonna go get the magazine because
I'm gonna tell you, when you are on a long journey and then your best friend wins, and the first thing she did was win at this long journey, it kind of gets irritating when you go interviewed over 1,000 times.
Deuces, yo! She gets to tell the story over and over again. So be careful, y'all, when you go into business with your best friend. That friend might be right, and then get to tell the story so many times. So here it is. So
my goodness.
She was writing genre, which she's really great at. And she was like, this is going to be my last book. I'm done with I'm going to be grown up. Okay. I'm going to go get my grown up job and do the grown up thing and leave writing behind. And I said, well, it's on the poetry. And she's, no, thanks, bestie. You want me to be broke for the rest of my life. Like, I'm not returning to poetry. And she was like, well, if I was returning to poetry, what would I call this book? And I said, and I thought divorce was bad. Totally won that. And guess what our first book is called together? And I thought divorce was bad, with other life lessons. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if this book made your career? And she's like, it would never happen. It's poetry.
Oh,
17 books later.
What?
You heard the capital, right?
You know what? You always got to have one with the vision.
Huh?
Always one person with the vision, so that you can lord it over them once you succeed.
But I mean, Wilnona normally is the person with the vision. Like, she is the person. So that was very, very weird for me to like have a vision and say the title of the book. Like, I don't even know where that title came from.
So how she got started in this entire business, I'm gonna tell the story, and if I sound salty, I'm not, just know.
She's salty.
It's a little obey, but
She's
not salty.
She's
salty. I brought her into this business.
Not obey though.
Obey.
Shout out to Maryland. Okay.
Yeah, shout out for Maryland. There you go. I gotta represent. Anyway. What was the story I was telling?
I don't know.
I'm not even really drinking hard. This is sad.
I thought I was gonna distract you, and we'll never have the story. Oh yeah, she dragged me kicking and screaming.
I got it. Thank you. So I dragged her into this kicking and screaming simply because I was like, if I have to write a book of poetry, brag here, I can write 64 poems in a week. If I have to write a book of poetry, I tell you what we're going to do. You're going to write a poem. Ha ha. So fast forward 5 years, and Jade was the 2019 Poet of the Year for the IALA Awards. Do I have a Poet of the Year award? No. But I got published for, I became a professional writer at 10 years old with poetry.
You guys, I'm telling you, it's so amazing just what you've done and what you've created and what you've brought forth. And I feel like it's like you guys hit the perfect energy together. Our co-host disappeared. I'm sure she'll be back. I think she's fighting with our internet. Yay, technology. And I just think it's amazing because this is one thing you've done. So you go with the book, but let's talk about partially how you branched out. You have a podcast. What is the name of your podcast?
Which one?
So we have like 4. So the Women's Cave, and I Thought Ladies podcast. Co-host both of them.
Ladies Tale podcast. Meet Hollywood Monday.
And the Writers Class.
Yep. So just 4. We don't do too many.
Just 4.
Okay, so we have 4 podcasts. Talk about your reality show for a minute.
But do we have to?
We do, because I didn't know about that, and now I want to know about that.
Oh shoot! I should have brought it up then.
Wilnona, you see, no good comes of speaking me. It's like you said, Beetlejuice.
Okay, so Jade did not have fun doing this at all. Nor did she like it.
So it was called Just Writing Life, and I like to call it a docuseries. And really, it was because everyone says that authors' lives are boring, right? Our life is not boring, or maybe because we just make it fun. Who knows? It might be it. But that's not a really nice stereotype to have on authors. Like, people live life. So we wanted to like, hey, there's more to the author's journey besides like behind the. Well, can I finish? Yeah, behind like typing on the typewriter or whatever you're envisioning authors doing. There's more to that story, right? There's editing, there's marketing, there's going places so people can know about you. There's like a bunch of stuff that goes
Those editing and marketing are both very boring things.
But
You know, keep going.
but you're showing like the business behind the thing.
That's true. That is. It does show the business. We did not show you editing and marketing. So if you go over there and be like, well, where's the editing and marketing? You're not gonna see it. That's something that you're gonna have to go to the writing class for. Yeah. We don't
That's
do a
true.
visual of editing
That's
and
true.
marketing.
But I mean, we did show like typing a little bit sometimes.
Okay, so what happened was we did our first conference and our friend wanted to start a reality show. And so we were like, okay, this person can introduce you to people that could do it. And I already knew what they were going to say because I know that, as Jade says, the general consensus in Hollywood is that writers are boring. And so that's exactly what the Hollywood producer said. Exact. And then I was cool with it. I was like, well, there we go. That's the end of that. And then 2 weeks later, I was really mad. And then we had a talent manager in LA. And so I called her to ask her if we could have a show. And I assumed like 7 years from now, you know, she'd get around to it and be like, hey, you know, I did all this pitching and we're having a show. She actually knew somebody that on one of the broadcast places. And she was like, actually, they're dropping a show. They just decided to drop a show and they're looking at filling the spot. And I'm a good friend. I can mention that you would be up and ready to run and you could fill the rest of the season for them. And that's what happened. So I called at 12 p.m. my time. It's 9 a.m. her time. She called me back at 5 p.m. my time, which is 2 p.m. her time. And we had a show.
Wow. And what is the name of this show?
Just Right in Life.
Wow.
So and Channel 18 in 3 markets.
So what we're gonna do is try to hide and bury that because y'all, seriously,
it was
us.
horrible.
It was horrible, but it was us on a learning curve. And I mean, people watched it though. We promised them every episode would get better, and it did.
So behind the scenes, it was a whole package that was sold, and then we had to provide some of that package. And well, you know, we learned we had 7 days to do 8 weeks worth of shooting.
So that was very interesting.
Wow.
I mean, fortunate for us, our life is, we were on the road, 26 or 33 weeks out of the year before COVID for about three years. We were on the road like more than half the year. So we were always going somewhere. So we had stuff to shoot.
Wow.
What was like the most difficult part of that? Was it just trying to shoot all that content in such a short period of time, or coming up for the ideas, or?
No, the most difficult part I'm gonna skip over this because editing is right. Editing is correct. But I'm gonna tell you the most difficult part was shooting the first thing and then having the thing that you shot it on fail due to a malfunction from the people who made it.
From the manufacturer. So then you didn't have any of your files, and then you have to
we did it in 48 hours for the pilot.
Yeah, so we had to come back.
Yeah.
Wow.
48 hours.
Yikes.
But it was super cool because we got to like turn it around. Okay, so the worst thing for me was having to shoot on days before my coffee.
Okay.
I'm Jade, and yeah, that was definitely before my coffee. Like when you have to shoot before your coffee and your hair is kind of like all over your head.
It's worse than this.
It's worse than this, all over your head, and you're just like, look, if I don't have coffee, no one will be happy.
Wow. So when is this airing?
It
already aired.
It's been aired for 2 years. Canceled.
Can I find this on YouTube?
No, it was on
Amazon.
It was on Amazon, but
it's canceled on Amazon too. It was on Amazon, and then it was on Channel 18 in Sacramento, San Diego.
So it aired. It's canceled. I hope someone else does it and does it better than us.
Please do it better than us.
Do it better than us.
So wait a minute. Does this mean you can email me these videos?
You do not want to see me before my
I want to see.
I want to see all of this. I absolutely want to see all of this.
The antics.
I'll send you one if you promise me you will never show or tell anyone.
Promise.
Pinky promise. How do we do that?
Videos.
Because it was horrible. It was bad. But I mean, would I take away the experience? Never. Did we know what we were doing? No. Were we out of our depth? Absolutely. Did we do it in grand the lady style? Absolutely. absolutely did it in the lazy style, messed up 85 times. Oh, I dropped the camera on the ground. We're gonna keep that in.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, it's kind of true. I mean, I will say, I think that, authors can have a lot of personality. We've had a lot of people on the show. You guys are amazing. I've had people from tons of personality like you guys to they can't answer questions at all. So I've had both.
So I'm sorry about that creaking noise. That was me getting the cork out of the open. So.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Look at us pouring drinks. Okay. So we have one that started at 10. What age did you start, Jade?
Not 10.
Not 10. I definitely was in my 20s. Like, because she dragged me. Like, I was always her beta reader. Like, so for every book that she's ever put out, I've always read it. I have been reading for a while, and I would be her beta reader, and I would go through and I'd be like, oh, that joke is funny because I know you, but it's not gonna land with everyone else. So I would go through and like help her with her. I've always done that. And like, so the point that makes me super excited and yet kind of like hesitant is because I am dyslexic, right? So here I am, poet of the year, but I'm dyslexic. So it's kind of like one of those like things where I look at it some days and just like laugh at it because I'm just like, wow, I would have never thought writing would be my life. It was the bane of my existence.
Actually, there's a New York Times bestselling author that made the list who's also dyslexic, and it goes to show, man, you just gotta if you want to do it, you just gotta conquer it.
Well, I didn't want to do it, but my best friend actually show up. So you show up, like you just do what you have to do and lean in, right? And so it's very interesting to me. Some days I'm just like, wow, who would have ever thought I would write for a living? Because I hate writing. Like, I don't hate writing. I hate the process of being dyslexic and trying to write.
So
that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. And so how many books total are you guys in now?
17. Together we're in 17.
So we have the Anti-Thought series and the Misfit Guide series. And then one like standalone, If Only Irony, a memoir in verse.
And then you were a writer before though, and you had books, Wilnona.
Yeah.
So how many do you have?
I don't know. I used to have 12, but I took most of them down. So that like I think I only have 2 back up there, three back up there.
Yeah, so you rebooted the series.
I did a reboot of the series. I started writing the Widow's Debt series now. It was not that. It was called the Junior Mafia series back in the day when I was 12. And I actually made money because everyone goes, oh, you make no money as a writer. And I'm like, I've been making money at writing since I was like 12 years old. I don't know what you're talking about. So I would write the books out by hand in a notebook, and then I would hand it to someone to read, and they would give it back. And and after a while, I was doing this in school. I bet you I could charge them. So I asked.
Also because you wanted to get your book back.
Yeah, I did want to get my book back like twice. You write the entire like 3-4 notebooks, and you kind of tape them together. You do this fake binding on the end, and they can flip it. And now I'm flipping your bangs. There you go.
Well,
and you can flip it and you can read it like an entire volume. And then, you don't get those back. That's a problem because now you got to remember the whole story and try to write it again or tell people that like that one's like no longer in circulation and you got to move on to the next one and try to get that one done faster. So I was like, I charge you money. Then you give me my book back. I give you change. Like I charged them $5. I gave them 3 back. I kept 2. For you tend
because your mom said
my mom told me if you're going to be writing books, I buy you notebooks, pens, and pencils for you to go to school, not to write novels. And I mean I can understand that.
She's a businesswoman, so she was like, find a way to make this possible.
So that's what I did. So it was more than enough. And by the time I was 17, I wrote 26 novels because in that year, first of all, I wanted to see if I could do it, and I did. And then also I was thinking I was going to go to university and I wasn't going to have time to write anymore. So I needed enough novels to carry me through university as well for 4 years. So I didn't have to write anything new. It was just done. So anyway, I ended up with a readership up and down the East Coast. It averaged around 200 readers per book. So, it was like a good grand a month.
Okay, hold on. We got to backtrack here because, first of all, I'm amazed. How long are these novels and how much writing are you getting done per day? I need to know the secret.
Oh,
What are you doing?
Back when I was 17,
so much writing. Much writing. And then she would hand me the notebook and then I would go in and be like, okay, that doesn't work. And I'd be like, and people would be like, it's like different handwriting, having shush.
So literally you would read the book and then there would be an arrow to her official joke because it was scratched out.
Yeah,
so you scratch it out like 5 different ways. And then there's an arrow to the joke to let you know this is what is supposed to be read here. And then you come back and the arrow brings you right back to where you're supposed to be. And you pick up reading. And that's how we did that.
Wow. But I mean, how do you know, like, have you actually calculated on a spreadsheet or anything how many words you're producing in a given day?
It's I don't know how much I was doing, but at the time I would do 720 written pages, 240 for a notebook, 3 subject notebooks, 240, and you bind 3 of them came together, so it was 720 pages.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And I produced one every other. Well, actually,
so how many of these are still in your possession?
6.
Well, actually,
I threw a lot of them away.
She did not. She thinks she threw them away, but I saved them.
Okay.
Every once in a while, she'll bring out one. Like, where did this come from?
She was just like, because literally, and I Thought Divorce Was Bad was literally her last book. She was like throwing them away and being like, I'm done with writing. And I was like, And every time I saw one in her trash, I would just be like, wipe that off, put that away for later. She's gonna come back to you. Don't worry, you're not gone forever.
So the first 3-book contract I signed was for that series. And then I was like, if a publisher found it worthy, because like the publisher contacted me.
So yeah.
So the publisher found it worthy, then I should probably
go back
and finish.
And then I was like, aren't you so fortunate that I have all of these notebooks for you?
Oh my goodness, it was so weird. It's so weird going back because first of all, when you're 12 and you're writing,
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
No,
so
it's not.
I should mention that what I write is like multi-generational gangsters.
Ooh, okay.
Talking about, because this goes back to like my favorite book, why she started writing these books. So one summer I discovered reading. My dyslexic self discovered reading.
And I was gonna wait because they might ask the question about what books we like.
Never mind.
Books we hate.
Never mind.
So I'm holding the name.
We're holding it.
I was like, I'm not coming.
You gotta hold the names. We are actually gonna ask that, but we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be right back with Drinking with Authors.
Sample locally sourced, quality distilled spirits in the beautiful Columbia River Gorge. At Skunk Brothers Distillery, we're family owned, brewing small batch grain to bottle spirits, just like our grandfather did back in the Prohibition era. From handcrafted bourbons and moonshine to flavored blends and cordials infused with local fruit. Join us for a tasting tour and buy Skunk Brothers spirits straight from the source.
It's all in the family at Skunk Brothers Spirits, located in Stevenson, Washington.
Okay, we're back and we're here. 27 books in a year. Said no author ever. Anyway, wow. So you're going through this journey, supports some stuff through college. What was the point? Because you guys talked about it, where you went, I'm going to have to get an adult job. Yeah. So no, that's what I'm saying. When did you go, I think I have to give up on this. I think I have to get an adult job.
So, let's see, while I was in college, I started a publishing house. And then after I got married, then I got divorced. I got married young.
So it was literally right after she got divorced. She was like, I have to give it up.
Yeah.
And then I was just all.
But like right before that, I wrote 3 books about that.
Yeah.
You will never see them ever. Believe me, world, that will never happen. But
she always says never, and then it happens. So yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know Jade has them somewhere, but continue on with your story of.
She put them out of the trash, and she has them somewhere.
So we're aware of this now. Continue on with your story, though.
It's true. Well, okay. So y'all know y'all have best friends, and you know, like when they're just going through a bad period, right? And they're just like, I'm doing this, and you're like, right, but I know you're gonna come back to this later, and you're gonna wish you didn't throw this out. So I'm just gonna save it at my home. So when you come back to it later, I can be like, well, here you go. That was for you. I knew you were coming back around to it. It's gonna be all fine.
So right, yeah. So after college, and then I got divorced, and I was like, yeah,
I'm getting a real job.
It's time to get a real job. I mean, I felt writing had done what it was going to do. I wasn't going to get traditionally published. I sent out my first query letter to the Big Five when I was 11 years old. And, you know, this is after college, and I've been sending out query letters every year of my life since then. Yeah, it's time. Like, it's not going to happen. And she just insisted on that poetry book. So here we are.
Well, I think that's great. Just out of curiosity, what job were you intending to get that didn't ever happen?
She was going to be a Braille transcriber.
Yeah.
Oh.
But during that,
I mean, it was a really nice calling, and she does do Braille.
yeah, during that time, actually, she's a sign language interpreter, and
in my past life,
and she retired.
I retired,
and so in order to pass her test, I learned sign language and helped her practice every day.
And then she got Braille, so she was going to be
a
Braille transcriber.
She did the same thing for me in Spanish when we were in high school. Yeah, so she did the same thing for me with Spanish. She learned Spanish so that I could pass my test. I learned sign language so she could pass her test in high school. But can I just tell y'all, complete deviation from the writing journey. This girl right here started the first sign language class in our county.
What?
Her own thing. No, she saw sign language when she was 8 years old and decided this is what she was going to do. They did not have a sign language course anywhere in the county. She saw a deaf teacher, went to an administrator, wrote up an actual
raise the money.
Right? She wrote up a petition, found the students to get in the class, then found someone to fund the books, then asked the principal, which she came back with all of this information, did a presentation, and started the first sign language class in our county.
Wow. Okay, bow down.
No, don't bow. No.
That is like,
no.
But you know what though? It's one thing to say a dream, but you didn't even allow yourself to just say the dream. You went and you put it into action, and you gave the principal every reason not to say no because you had this all lined up. I mean, that's amazing.
But I learned that from Wilnona. How many books did she write in 1 year? 26.
Wow.
I know. I need to breathe this in there so I can do that.
I'm sorry, I can't hear her.
Sorry.
I couldn't hear Vanessa. That's exactly why you need.
No, I was like, I need to breathe in this magnificence because, like, I need to do that.
Now, like when you see somebody go for their goal and like go for it, and as my mom would say, and her mom would say, like, you can't let people stop you. You can't let things stop you. Just keep going because you have to. And the day and age, even the day and age we live in, like there are always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be bad reviews on your book. There's always going to be negative people, but don't let it stop you. Continue on your journey.
Have you guys
go get it?
Thought about writing a biography of your journeys? Because
so wait, hold on.
We did.
So if only I were me, a memoir in verse.
No, it's the women's cave.
Wait.
Go for it.
I have to say a memoir in verse because it was a memoir, and then the woman's cave, a misfit guide. So and other pop poems, a misfit guide, because our journeys are a little not on the same path as most people, but it doesn't matter.
But that's what I'm asking. Like coming from, even if you did this, to where you're at now, your guys' journeys are totally inspirational. For what it is, and inspirational for a friendship, because this is a friendship through the times and the years, and a total support friendship. How many people do we know that think it's great that we want to do whatever, but don't quite know how to support or what to do? And I feel like you guys have a lot of life lessons you could give people throughout this journey.
I have one thing to say when you're done. Are you done?
But I would be very interested in reading that biography.
So the one thing I'm going to say is whatever that's in your dream, Sweetie, you need to bring it down some.
Girl, right?
You're considering us inspirational.
First, what are you
One
drinking
less
again?
shot of that white lightning.
What are you
One
drinking?
less.
And then second, though, in our books, though, we do go through with life lessons, which was actually one of our beta readers' ideas, right? So they were reading the poetry and they were like, I wish somebody would like drag us, like I'd have a thread. So we do have life lessons in there, even if it's just our life lessons.
Then we, as she said, we have If Only I Were Me, which literally is a memoir. So we wrote how we felt at that moment and what it had inspired us to keep, because we were at the moment, we were a little low.
Our fans kept being like, you're amazing people, you're amazing. And we were like, we need to see these like
Amazing.
It makes me, these people that you're putting on a pedestal with like, you shouldn't belong on your pedestal now. Come on now, we can just like bring it down. And they're like, no, you belong on this pedestal. You worked hard for this pedestal. And then we wrote that book, If Only I Were Me, I mean, one verse. And it helped us see like maybe we were kind of those people that those fans thought we were. Here's
the thing though, if somebody tells you you've inspired them, never take that away, because that's a truth. And we don't have to think we're the greatest thing in the world and stuff like that. But sometimes, like I was on a panel for my day job. I'm a chief human resource officer is my day job still. And I was on a panel, it was a women's panel, and my topic was about the Red Purse campaign. And the Red Purse campaign has to do with pay equity, right, for women. And it was interesting because they asked us to be very vulnerable and like kind of tell our story and then give advice on what to do or how to do it. So I told my story, I was doing that, and it was interesting because there were 5 other topics, and what would happen is they'd bring us all back into have talk on these topics, right? Which had to do with diversity. One of them had to do with, where you come from and building your where you want to go. But it was in the whole time. So there's a chat. This is a virtual thing, right? And I'm popping in and I'm going, here's this thing, don't let yourself be undersold. Know your worth when you walk into a meeting, stuff like that. And through the chat, people were quoting me and being like, oh my God, I'm writing this down, blah, blah, blah. And I could take away and go, well, that's, whatever. But the truth is, for that person in that moment, you made a difference.
Yep.
And with all the things you guys are doing, you are inspirational because you've achieved goals that people have that they haven't quite achieved yet. And you've given that to look at all of the stuff you're doing, which we're going to talk about how the fuck you have all that time. Because man, I do one podcast
we don't have time. We just try to make it, and we don't sleep. That's why coffee is so
I was going to say, are you guys vampires? Because that would explain quite a bit of this. But I think when people say you're inspirational, you guys should realize that, and what you guys achieved is amazing.
Absolutely. And that is through writing If Only I Were Me, a memoir in verse. Like, it hit us in the face. Like, we were just, all these people were saying these things, we're just like, what are you talking about? And we're just like, we have to like write this out and like figure this out. And If Only I Were Me, a memoir in verse was born because of, well, these are what these people are telling me, but I don't feel this way. And as you're writing it down, you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe they was right. Maybe I should just accept that and smile.
It was also a way because a lot of people didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. They just saw what was happening, the success. I don't even know how to call it success. The accomplishments that were happening.
Like in front of them.
And the reason that it's actually called If Only I Were Me is because people saw this person and we felt like another person. So if only I were the person they see. And then by the time we actually got done, it was interesting to see that the amount of work that we had done and that we were not the same people that when we started this journey that we were now. We were definitely different people. We were wiser. We had a better understanding of business. I mean, there were so many different worlds we knew. And so that meant that we were different people. So If Only I Were Me was like those people from 5 years ago merging to the people that we were today. But we didn't. And so now I can comfortably say, yes, I think we do a good job. I also know how we got here, which honestly was number one, her saying I need to write my last poetry book. She never thought it was going to be my last. Never. And then number two is somebody saying, something that was supposed to be a roadblock, and we took it as a challenge, and we made a brand in 24 hours. So we had a choice. We could either not make a brand, the And I Thought Ladies, and then our career would have died there, or we could make a brand, and we had to have it done before 7 a.m. the next morning. And the person called at 6 p.m. So that meant we had to make it in less than 24 hours.
And we turned it around.
We did. And we never thought that this would be something. So those were those people. This isn't something, it's just something I do. This isn't like what I am, it's what I do. And then to find out that, yeah, it was kind of something you tripped over, but it's what you do and who you are. That was the difference.
And we wrote ourselves there. So y'all like,
yeah. So that's a cool memoir. It's really short. It's only
really
like 13
short.
pages.
Yeah, it's not
but then
really
like
long.
The other one that she was talking about was the Women's Cave, and that's like it's a poetry business book to tell you how to start to think the way that we think to do what we do.
I think that's brilliant because, one of the biggest things is I think we as women, I think especially have this problem, but artists also have a problem of grossly underestimating how amazing they are and judging themselves instead of by actually what's happening, but judging themselves based on opinions around them or what they perceive people to see them as.
Yeah. I'd also like
and
to
I like to say, like,
okay, I did, but you talk more.
I know. Go ahead.
Thank you.
It
feels weird because I'm the narcissist, and I was just like, I'm gonna just let her run with this. I'm just gonna say the second point, and then she can run with the show wherever which way she wants to go.
Hysterical. I was like, you talking like that's hysterical. Sorry.
Oh shoot, what was I gonna say?
I don't know, but like
listening to the opinion, it was also a great awakening for me because I decided to go back to school because I was like, I have made a poetry career, but I do not have the degree to say that I am a poet. So I went back to get a degree to say I was a poet, and I ran into some things, some challenges, some people that had a different view of my poetry and the kind of poet that I am and where I was taking literature. And I kind of bought into that. And so that book also assisted with that, recognizing that I can be the poet I want to be without anyone's permission.
I love that.
Yeah, and just so you know, like, it took me a while, like when I first started writing, we say, oh, we're aspiring poet or aspiring writer. And the thing is, you don't need a degree to be a poet or a writer or even be published. If you are actually writing, you are a writer. If you are writing poetry, you are a poet. Like, you don't need anyone to validate that. Now, whether someone thinks it's good or not, that's basically people's opinion, but you are the thing that you actually do. And so, yeah.
That's the funny thing. It's like, I became a published poet at 10 years old, and I have never had in my life one person. I mean, people have always said, well, I don't think it's good, or I don't think that. And I'm like, oh, you just not me. So you don't understand. I'm going to be amazing. Wait and see. And it was the first time in my life I went, maybe not. Maybe I'm not amazing. And I have never, and I do mean never, questioned my writing or my ability. It was the weirdest thing in my whole life to be like, am I no good? Never had that question come across my mind in my whole life. People told me for years, no good. And I was like, you're funny.
So it was a very interesting time. And the person was basically telling Wilnona, you're not writing what we would call, like in the music industry, you're writing hits, but you're not writing something that will endure forever.
No,
and then I looked at Wilnona and I said, hits pay, right? Right? They give me money, right? Like these hits that we're writing, it pays my bills, right? Well then, lean in. So we're pop poets, lean in, because what's the point? What's the point of having a career if it doesn't pay you?
So that was another thing that I learned later on after I wrote the book. I was like, you have to understand, this was a person who taught for a living that was a poet, and you're a poet for a living, that occasionally teaches.
There's nothing wrong with teaching.
No,
poetry.
there's nothing
Please
wrong.
Continue to teach it.
My goodness,
Please.
nothing wrong.
Please.
But my point was, if you say you're a poet and your actual checks, the way you pay the light bill is from poetry, then you need to go ahead and be a poet. Just claim it. Because I assumed I was a genre author that happened to spit out poetry.
No, that makes sense. So what about actually, you've said you've got 3 novels back up and out, right? Are you working on any more?
Yes.
Oh, she has to.
Doing the whole series.
It was really funny because she has this fan.
Oh God.
This fan that was like, excuse me, I'm gonna need the first of this series and the end of the series. I'm gonna need all the books, so you better put it out.
So okay,
because I need to hear it, and I need to. And like, how about her audiobook narrator is like, excuse me, when's the next book?
yeah, he just emailed me yesterday. Like, it's been a while. You should be done at least 2. I know how you write. Where are they?
Where are
and
they?
am I not the narrator anymore?
I love these characters, and it is hysterical because when I was like, I'm gonna take a break, and then people will be like, excuse me.
Okay, so the fan she's talking about okay, so you would go like, oh, a fan, that's cute. No, it's a fan with a show and a large following that said this. She just, hey,
I
love them. And to make sure that I wrote them, she was like, we're gonna have a whole show devoted to talking about what you're gonna do next. So now I'm stuck with like 20,000 people who are looking for said books.
Wow.
It is hysterical. And I was like, that's the way I like work. So hence why we write the Misfit Guide, y'all, because it doesn't quite work the way you think it should work, but it works. It works.
Oh my God. So you talked a little bit about getting a publishing contract. Are you still self-publishing, or are you doing it via contract?
We are still indie publishing because literally who's gonna be like, I'm gonna pick up a poetry mystery novel? Like,
so we just finished a poetry murder mystery book. It's a murder mystery completely in poetry.
Wow.
Yeah, it's at the beta readers or the editors right now.
And then before that, we did the poetry business book. We did the poetry memoir book.
Oh wait, we should probably say titles because people are gonna be like,
yeah, say titles.
Right. So the Women's Cave and Other Pop Poems.
Poetry mystery book.
Wait, excuse me.
No, poetry business book, right? Go for it, Jade.
Other Pop Poems, a mystery guide, a misfit guide is the business poetry book that actually went #1, which was amazing to us, on Amazon. And then we have, well, the other one isn't out yet.
The other one, no, it's not out. The poetry mystery book's not out yet, but it will be soon. It depends because the publisher actually is interested in that one.
So we'll see.
Think they're a little wonky to be interested in it, but okay, we'll
see if it gets picked up. Also, If Only I Were Me, a memoir and verse will soon be coming out
as an audiobook.
No, it's out as an audiobook. And I Thought I Did My Journey Alone will soon be coming out as an audiobook.
So And I Thought I Did My Journey Alone is the first time that we did a prose. So you know how you go into a poetry book and it has like South and you have all the poems from the South. No, we don't do that. We don't do it at all. So we have like a traveler started their journey. So we did an actual like flash fiction. And then you have
it up into the sections.
Yeah, so you follow the story of a person discovering themselves.
Oh.
And that is how you get into the poetry. So the first section will be like, he started a journey one step at a time. And then that whole section about poetry is about the fear that you have about starting a journey.
The uncertainty.
Yeah. And then, but the excitement, the elation you find thinking about where you're going to be.
Right. And I love that book because as we were traveling around, we're meeting different people and we're recognizing that actually we're not so far apart as humans. Like, we kind of have the same journey, just different spaces. And that was a really cool book to write because of noticing that. And if y'all don't understand, like, we normally we get our inspiration through life, but then it also teaches us. So as we're writing, we're like teaching our own selves, like, oh, we are those people that we didn't think we were, or wow, we really are alone. Like, this is amazing. Like, somebody else had this quirky thing happen to them, so it's not just me.
Now, the Misfit Guides is the one about that. No, we are just quirky.
We're quirky, yeah.
We have never met anyone in all our travels that have these problems. We're just quirky.
We are quirky.
So you guys, I will give you that too. What about you started a fashion line? Let's dive down some of this other stuff. So
that fashion line.
Where did we
That fashion line started because one day
Nona wanted. So okay, this is what happened. COVID happened, and then we couldn't travel.
No. First, we started with merchandise, right? We started with merchandise and being like, hey, we wear everyone else's stuff, which y'all should do because small business people need income, right? But why don't we wear ourselves, right? Because everyone loves the inspirational quotes, and we're poets and authors, so we have a bunch of them. We have a book full of them, so we need to like put them on shirts and continue to walk on down our street and go out in public and these things. So hence the coffee mug, which is a rambling thoughts of mindless minds.
And then so
that's a poetry thing.
When COVID happened, we couldn't travel as much, which did put a large crimp in our style. But at the time we got another offer for later on to be on a red carpet. Okay. And I was like, oh, what are we gonna wear? And then I was like, why don't I wear me? And so voila. This is us in a fashion magazine. I don't know if you can see it. So that's
Jade. My goodness.
Oh my goodness.
I love that.
Fashion. Business Fashion.
This is the Business Fashion magazine. And then this is me wearing a 1970s look with our signature blue and red lips on it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to show one more picture. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to show two more pictures.
Two more pictures. Fabulous, y'all. So y'all on the podcast, like switch over. This is me wearing our first dress we ever made.
Wow.
And then
I love the cut right here. It looks amazing.
So our brand style, yeah. We do have a brand style. So we did vintage. So we're like, if you ever go to our book, if we're ever at a book festival, which barely ever happens, when we're ever there, you'll see us in full 1950s regalia with the hat on, and we'll have like the silver tray and the gloves, and we serve you like stuff. And so anyway, that's why we decided to go with vintage. And this is me wearing the bathing suit, the wrap, and this is our umbrella.
Wow. Oh, wow.
But if you want to see one more thing,
of course,
the shoe. This is our brand shoe, one of the brand shoes.
What?
This is Jade's shoe. And these are a set, but they look different. And this is Wilnona's shoe. So Wilnona has red lips. And she
It was just very interesting. And as Wilnona always says, what do you say? What's your quote?
It's important to engage your fans the way that they want to interact with you. Right. So maybe you are a person out there who has a book, but you have a social thing, but you don't have readers per se. But you do have people who follow you, and they would buy a t-shirt, or they would look at your wine, or they would get a wine glass, or they would listen to a podcast. Right. They would listen to a podcast about something completely different than your book, but kind of ties back into your book. These things. And that's why we go ahead and we have fans for each section. Do we have fans who like our poetry? Yes. Do we have fans that just follow us for our podcast? Honestly, this happens more often than not. People like one of the podcasts and they show up and they're like, oh my goodness, so I just came to support you, say hi. Wait, what are these books doing here? And we're like, we write books. And they, why don't you ever tell anyone? Do you remember the beginning of the podcast?
That's us telling you. And then it's very interesting because on our book table, we just have like this donation box, because sometimes people just show up and they're like, I just wanted to support you. So here, take this $5 and go on about that. I don't want any of your books. I don't want anything. I just want y'all to know I love you and I'm going to continue listening. Here's $5 and go on about my life.
Aww.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's very amazing. And we appreciate all of our fans wherever you follow us. Like, wow.
I should do one more brand plugs while I'm here, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I should. Because we are on Drinking with Authors, so we have wine. That's our wine.
Oh.
So it comes in black, white, and rosé. It comes in red, white, and rosé. Sorry.
So
I was gonna say, what is a black wine? Like you literally had me limited for a moment.
No, I make black wine at home for myself. It's black. It's just wine made out of straight up blackberries. That's it. So I make it for myself because I make my own wine sometimes.
That's good. It's very good.
Oh, okay. So like I said, we're coming to your house. Jade's feeding me. Winona's gonna beverage me up, and I mean,
She also makes her own vodka, y'all, but shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, I made vodka for my neighbors during the lockdown.
Yeah. She took the potatoes and literally fermented them down and like
then
filtered it out. Yeah.
So you're writers, you make wine, you cook amazing food, because I don't know, we were talking about food on the podcast or prior to the podcast, but these ladies make some spicy food and clothing and what a reality show. What else?
Movie out.
And we can't, but the one thing we can't do is draw. So this is why so we can't draw at all. And this is why we go to Rena Ivy to do like our book covers and stuff, because she's amazing.
Oh my God, I forgot it. We said it, but we didn't show it. So this is 2019, the 25 hottest authors, artists, and advocates. It's only like 198 pages long. There y'all go. Okay, it's done. That plug was done. Ooh, I almost forgot it.
We're in that, aren't we? We put a plug in there, didn't we?
Yes,
in 2022, yeah.
Which is out now. So there's another shameless plug.
I love all of this. Oh my God, you guys are so thoroughly amazing. Okay. I see, normally I say it's time to do shameless self-promotion and how do people find you? I feel like that's going to be like a 10-minute long thing, but let's start.
I'll do it. You can find everything your ladies are doing on www.andithoughtLadies.com. While you're there, take a moment, go to the middle of the page and see the charities we proudly support. You can support them also. We thank you in advance for that.
Ooh,
that was easy peasy. Okay, what is the very next thing happening for you guys? Very next thing.
The very next thing happening for us.
I'm doing a new design for the spring line, but that's not what the big thing that's happening for us.
The very next thing that's happening for us is we're gonna have some very interesting people on the Ladies Tale podcast.
Oh my goodness, yes, we are.
Some very interesting guests that I think everyone will enjoy, and
I'm working on our second movie.
And we have some other very interesting guests coming up on the writers class.
Oh yeah.
Did you just say second movie?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Second documentary.
Because you didn't mention the first one yet.
yeah. I was about to say, I was like, wait a minute. I was going through my Rolodex gathered.
Mm-hmm.
She froze again. We're having fun. It's like the pop-in of the invisible co-host. So what is the first movie?
Create, Aspire, and Inspire.
Yes.
And where
Vanessa,
does one find this movie?
YouTube. We have not yet done anything with it. It's just around.
It's around. We haven't really promoted it like that, so we are hoping to do that.
We'll get around to it.
You guys are fucking amazing. Seriously. I'm actually like tired listening to all the things that you do and feel like I don't do a lot of things then. Like that's
you have a day job and you do a podcast. That's enough.
And you write. Oh my goodness.
HR. You do HR. Like, I'm trying to figure out how you do it.
Oh, well, I appreciate that thoroughly, but mutual admiration, definitely. Okay, guys. So we have to wrap it up. This has been Drinking with Authors. I've been your host, Erica Lance, my invisible co-host that keeps jumping in and out is Vanessa. Oh, she's jumping back in again. Let's see if she'll be here for the end. We're doing all the say goodbye things. Vanessa, are you there?
I'm here. I don't know what's going on, but is this me saying bye now?
This was you. I'm going to let you say bye to our guests because you're back.
I'm back. I'm sorry if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm just kind of in and out. So, this was a great chat, and au revoir.
Okay, that's not how we do this, Vanessa. That's fine. So our guests have been Jade and Wilnona. And they're from the ladies that have 20 million brands under them that I could just sit here for like days listing off. It's amazing. Film producers, TV shows, books, awards, podcasts, writing, fashion, wine. Like I'm running out of fingers.
So wait a minute. Are you guys going to run for the next presidential election? Because I feel like
no. Thoroughly underqualified. Underqualified.
I don't know, man. I mean, you keep saying underqualified, and then you're like challenge, and then you're going to do something. feel like
true.
what-
Vanessa called you out on that one. It's kind of like, we don't think you should be the next president. And you're like, challenge accepted.
Okay, part of me went, what? Oh, and I was like, hold up, back it up, back it up.
Sorely underqualified.
Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime. Okay. Drinking with Authors. Our sponsor today has been Skunk Brothers Spirits, veteran and family owned. Check them out. DWA 10. I'm still saying their blueberry cinnamon is my favorite, but I'm telling you, check it out. Skunk Brothers Spirits, blueberry cinnamon cordial, the best thing I put in my face. Okay. But we will see you guys next time.